The weight of the silver locket. Kalen walked through the dark, narrow city streets as the rain began to fall. His expensive leather shoes splashed in the puddles, and his tailored suit jacket was quickly soaked through. He felt completely worn out, both in his body and his spirit, after years of climbing the corporate ladder. He looked behind him at the glowing skyscrapers, feeling like one of the thieves he had once worked with, guilty of stealing time and trust for profit. He turned a corner and saw a warm glow coming from a small, old-fashioned office window. It was the workplace of Elian, a veteran consultant. Elian was known in the business world as a reliable man who never broke a contract and could fix even the most broken corporate culture. Kalen hesitated, then pushed the heavy glass door open. The office was quiet, filled only with the soft hum of an old clock. Kalen stood by the door, dripping water onto the carpet. He remembered his early career, when he had been pressured to take part in a deceptive merger. His partners told him it was just business, but at the last moment, he had felt a sudden psychological wall. He couldn't go through with the plan to bankrupt the smaller company. Kalen walked slowly to the desk and placed a small silver locket on the green felt surface. "I have so much regret," he whispered, his voice trembling. The locket was a family heirloom he had accepted as a bribe years ago. The feeling of remorse was like a heavy stone in his chest, making it hard for him to lead his company or think about the future clearly. Elian didn't shout or threaten to call the ethics board. Instead, he looked at Kalen with deep sympathy. He saw a successful executive who was lost, not a heartless man. "The spirit can wear out when it carries too many secrets, Kalen," Elian said softly. "You look like you have been carrying this burden for far too long." Kalen sat in a leather chair and sighed deeply. He realized now that his partners at the firm were superficial people. They only valued him when the quarterly profits were high or when he helped them bypass regulations. He knew now that he could never truly rely on them for support when his conscience became too heavy to ignore. "I want to make it right," Kalen said, looking up with a new light in his eyes. "How can I compensate the families who lost their savings because of my silence? I want to return what is left and leave those thieves behind." Elian nodded slowly. He knew that restoring a reputation was much like restoring a vintage watch. It required patience and many honest steps. Elian agreed to mentor him through the process of restitution. In return, Kalen used his skills to help struggling nonprofits. Every evening after his regular work, Kalen analyzed budgets and organized charity events. The extra work would often wear him out by the end of the week, but it was a meaningful kind of tiredness he hadn't felt in years. Months passed, and a strong bond grew between the two professionals. Kalen learned that a reliable leader shows up even when the path is difficult and the rewards are invisible. He began to rely on Elian's ethical wisdom, and the older man taught him that true value is found in integrity rather than just the bottom line. His mental burden was finally gone. Kalen was no longer the executive running away from his past. He was a man of honor, and he was proud of his new professional path. His heart was no longer worn out by guilt. Instead, it beat with the steady, honest rhythm of a life lived with purpose and truth.